All right, Coach, it's Harrison Central Week, coming off a disappointing loss at D'Iberville. I think another week where I think our offense did a lot of good things and then shot ourselves in the foot a little bit too.
Yeah, like almost the entire game, to be honest with you. I thought, just going back off the offense, I thought our defense played strong-ish, this week, a lot tougher than we had, but we still had a lot of missed assignments. We got a lot of people in the box, and we were still getting run through a little bit. And then there was a couple of times they really burned us when our guys took their eyes off their man, especially right before halftime. We had a guy that we had double covered, and we just kind of were late on the coverage, and one of us couldn't get him down. And then late, the last score they had, just a non-violation where we took our eyes off our man, and he got loose on us. He got a 5-yard step on us, and they were able to get us over the top. And I think he ended up landing on the 3-yard line. Offensively, you look at it. First drive of the game, we start off an 8-yard gain off a pass. And then the very next play, we wiggle the ball and get an illegal procedures penalty that backs us up. It makes it 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8, somewhere around in there. We have a negative play the very next play, and then on 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, we roll the ball back to the quarterback, and it ended that drive. It's just a drive killer where you start off with a really good play, and then we had a play where I think it was still in the second quarter, early in the second quarter, where we were throwing fades and we had really good protection by our offensive line. I think we held the ball a little bit too long, and the pressure got there to us late, and probably 4 or 5 seconds later, which is good protection. And we didn't hang on to the football, which is something I think he's done a good job with most of the year. And we put the ball on the ground, they scoop and score. That put us behind as well. And then so with the scoop and score, and then giving up the touchdown late in the first half, really hurt us. And then you go back to, we get a fumble, finally get a fumble on defense. It finally took advantage of one of the 3 times that they put the ball on the ground, and we get the ball in their territory, and we throw a trick play with a hook and ladder, and they execute it perfectly. And this was a P&10 play. This was a play that we called in the huddle, so there was no signal issue, no nothing. And we have an illegal procedure penalty, which was definitely there, a legal motion penalty that happened. Basically, the quarterback's supposed to put a guy in motion. He forgot to, but the guy in motion is told that, hey, if he forgets to put you in motion, just stay. But he started moving, without being told to move in motion, and so those were 3 really big. That's a 14-21 almost point swing. And those are the things you just can't do. You can't shoot yourself in the foot. So that game should have been a lot closer than it was. That should have been a tight game, a 7-point game, or a tie game late in the 4th quarter with a chance to win it. But again, on both sides of the ball, and it was a collective effort between players and coaches, of losing that football game. And, we don't, I try to tell our players all the time, you don't get to retest the football game. You get one chance. You get one chance at this, and you don't get to play D'Iberville again in 2021, and so when you go out there, you have to, that was the main point, the main focus this week was to focus and do what you're supposed to do each and every play, and nothing dumb and nothing especially pre-snap. And we didn't do the little things right, and that's something we're going to have to get corrected as a coaching staff, as players. I think we're invested. I really do. I think our players are trying and they're playing hard, but there's just a lack of focus here and there, and I think we're still a bit immature. And those are the things that are going to have to be fixed in these next 6 weeks, and it's going to have to get fixed now if we want to see the results change. And if we don't fix them, the results are going to stay the same. And we're really working hard to get that fixed.
I want to come back to that because I actually kind of wanted to ask you a question about that. But going back to the D'Iberville game, I wanted to ask you. So Coach Dolan, we talked about beforehand. They're going to try to jam the ball 3 or 4 yards down, and that's what they did. They threw the ball a little more than maybe we expected them to, but they went for it on 4th down and had a couple of successful 4th down conversions. What kind of impact, especially early in the game, does that have on a defense?
Well, that's huge, and the biggest thing is only one of them I'm extremely disappointed in. When it's 4th and 1, that's tough against a team like them, especially when they were overpowering us a little bit. Even though we had all the guys in the box this week, it was the first time I've ever done it like that because we were trying to force them to throw. We wanted to see if he could take advantage of that, and he did. He played a good game. We tried. He made some good. He completed 4 really really crucial balls. The main one I'm disappointed on the fourth down was the first drive they had of the game. We had them 4th and 7, I think it was, in their own territory. And that, took a lot of guts to go for that. And they put their good receiver out wide, number 12, and threw a 10-yard out route. And we had a corner one-on-one, and I mean, the ball just floated in the air forever. And we just didn't break on the ball. It's like we weren't even expecting that could possibly happen. And it was 4th and 7. I don't know why you wouldn't expect that would happen. Something we worked on, and we especially knew when they put 12 out wide, what could happen. So we really wanted to have tighter coverage on him and make him throw it over the top. But we were late on the break, and they completed the ball with pretty easily, and that got their first drive going. And then in that same drive, they get it all the way down to the goal line, and they fumble the ball inside the 5-yard line, and the ball literally laid there for 3 seconds. Almost, and we didn't have one person get on that football, and that could have been a huge turning point, and that would have definitely taken 7 more points off the board. So you get the ball there, you eliminate the scoop and score, you take advantage of the turnover that we got. That's a 21-point swing, and you're looking at a totally different ball game. Just 3 plays right there.
If we took them on the 1
And,
yard.
and you take away a 28-point swing almost. So you take that, and those are just things you can't do. You have to take care of the football, and then when the other team is trying to give you the ball, you have to take it. And we just gotta. I don't know. I don't think it's a lack of effort. There's definitely some things I've definitely got to do better to get our team to lock in and focus better pre-snap, especially, and taking care of the football. We just it's just got to improve. But obviously it's all fixable stuff. You know what I mean? It's very fixable stuff. We just got to be a little bit more mature and handle our business pre-snap and take care of the football.
I want to talk about the offensive line just a little bit, because one thing that I noticed was it seems like our blocking is good or much better when we're running the ball versus when we're passing the ball. Seemed like especially later in the game, I don't know if it was because we were tired or disappointed or whatever it may have been, but it seemed like Deljay didn't have a lot of time to throw the ball, and he was kind of running a lot.
Yeah.
Is that we having issues there? Or is that
I think he had a little bit more time than you really think, especially on the one we fumbled and on the scoop and score. I think there was a few issues of holding on to the ball too late, and then there was some pressure. There was some pressure on some other times. We thought we could take advantage of some things in the air. We really felt that we had some mismatches, and we wanted to take advantage of that. Probably got away from the run game a little bit too much, but I thought, I think our offensive line play has been well. I'm okay with that there, but yeah, I think there's some things we could do a little bit better and hold on to the run a little bit more. But again, you look at it in the second half when we ran the ball again, that we're going in for a run like you just said, and we fumbled the ball inside the 5-yard line, and then the last drive we ran, and we basically ran trap over and over and over again. But I think they were in more of a prevent and making sure they kept everything in front of them at that particular time. So that's kind of skewing probably the looks of it a little bit. So, I think overall in the run game that, I think this week maybe even you may see that a little bit more. We'll see what happens.
Going back to what you said a minute ago about kids needing to grow up a little bit, maybe a little undisciplined or whatever you call it. We had the game at Pearl where we had a pretty good offensive showing and had some bad breaks going our way. Then we had the D'Iberville game, kind of the same situation. How important, I guess, as a coach, how do you keep those kids, motivated and knowing that they can win and confident? And then going into a game like Harrison Central, how important is it to get a big win under our belt, after those 2 losses?
Well, I think you kind of reverse it into a positive way. When you show it to them on film and things like that, and you're like, hey, what if we eliminate this? What if we would have eliminated this mistake? What if we would have eliminated that mistake? Look where you would have been in this particular game. And I think those are the things that we look at, and we try to spin it to our players that way. But the biggest thing is we just got to execute, and obviously on my end, I got to do a better job of getting our kids to execute, and as our coaching staff. I mean, it's not all on. It's an overall equal effort on the ends of all of us, and we got to do a better job of making sure that we lock in each and every play. Whether it's a run or whether it's a pass, and the defense especially, we got to make sure that we got our eyes on our man, we're in man, and taking care of our zone when we're in zone. So,
Let's move on to Harrison Central. So tell me, like, who are the studs for Harrison Central? What are we going to see from an offensive and defensive side of the ball? What kind of offense are they going to run, and so forth?
Offensively, their spread is what they've shown. Mostly number 3 that you're going to see is their receiver is a really good player, but all the rest of their receivers are good players too. 9, 6, really good players. 2 in the backfield is a good running back. Not as big as the running backs we've seen, but they will bring their middle linebacker in, who's one of the best defensive players in our district, number 22. They'll bring him in at running back, or they'll put him as a wildcat quarterback, basically snap in the ball and get downhill at 22 personnel. So you're going to see a lot of spread stuff with the zone read, and then they do a lot of quick game hitches. They'll get an empty all hitches. They'll try to hit you with some forward verts, things like that. A lot of benders in the middle of the field to try to hit you between the backers and the safeties. Things of that nature. So we got to be home and all that kind of stuff. Defensively, they're a man team, so they're a lot of cover one. They keep one safety in the middle of the field, a lot of cover one stuff. Try to get as many people in the box as they can. It's going to be they're going to have to make a decision on what they want to do. Obviously, with Duran, do you want to double him? Do you want to isolate him by himself? So we want to try to make sure we try to put. See how many, we got to count the box, see how many they put in the box. Are they going to double Duran or not? That'll make us decide whether we want to throw it more or run it more, to be honest with you. So we'll see what goes on there. But they're a good team. They're 3-0. They just came off a big win against Pascagoula. Pascagoula's a good team. There's no off weeks in our district this year. So we've got to get these things fixed and that we're missing on, and we'll be fine.
One of the things I've heard a lot from Internet Nation is we talked about this last time, is just the game day experience has been a lot better.
Yeah.
The band being there, the student section,
Yeah.
the tailgating, all the different things.
Yeah.
We got a back-to-back home game. Obviously, the fans are going to come out. It's obviously more exciting to come out and see a W versus an L. But what do you have to say to the fan group in Indian Nation? And
yeah, I think everybody in Biloxi is doing their job except for the football team. You know what I mean? I think the band's doing a great job. The student section's doing great. The environment has just been great. I mean, my family was at the game, and they were talking about. I mean, they came from out of town. They always come to a couple of games a year and talked about, man, it's different, and we feel it, and we much appreciate it, and we're sorry for the production we put on the field, and we're going to do everything we can to fix that. And we hope that you continue to show the support that you've shown, because it's very well appreciated, and we really are planning to fix this and turn things around, and we really hope that you continue to support us.
Well, thank you, Coach.
Yeah, man.
One quick note before we get out of here. They are probably going to do pre-sales again from 8 until 12:30 at the athletic office. So if you don't have to wait in line when you get to the game, you go up and see Coach Gladney and get your tickets. So come out, support the Indians, and we'll see you Friday night.